Hey guys, happy Friday. I hope everybody had a great weekend since you're watching this on Monday. We're going to go over Friday's reading lesson. So it's going to be our last lesson on poems. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we're going to go to So today we're going to be reading two different poems. And we're going to be on page 306. So on page 306, it'll look like this. And the first poem we're going to read is Revenge. So we've talked about poems for the last couple days. So today we're going to be comparing two poems, and we're going to be looking at what the elements of a poem, these two poems have. So we've talked about different elements like verse, meter, rhythm, rhyme. We've also talked about different types of poems, like a narrative poem that has a character, it has rhythm, it has rhyme, it's giving you the poet's experiences and maybe their feelings. So today we're going to read two different poems, and the first one we're going to read is Revenge. So I'm going to go ahead and read that poem to you. And it says, "A very fine Friday, Fiona did say, and set out to write up a plan for her day. The first thing I'll do," said Fiona with flair, "is find out who planted this gum in my hair." For Fiona, just moments ago, had tried prying her head from her pillow, which made her start crying. For stuck twister head and pillow so dewy was a wad of gum, sticky, icky, and chewy. "Who did this thing?" asked Fiona, whose eyes narrowed to slits of the tiniest size. "Maybe a kid on whom I played a prank. But that's nearly everyone." Fiona's heart sank. Yes, it's true, our Fiona was known as a trickster. Neither parents nor doctors nor teachers could fix her. Every soul in her school had at some point been bitten by her tricks through she seemed like an innocent kitten. So it made all the sense in the world, she admitted, that the gum in her hair was a message to quit it. "I played some great tricks on that crybaby Jack. Bet he put this old gum in my hair to get back." She would have to get back at that backgetter Jack, and she thoughtfully planned out the perfect attack. Jack's habits were something that Fiona knew, so she set out to replace his shampoo with glue. But Fiona, in haste to avenge her gummed head, had missed all the gum wrappers under her bed. She'd forgotten her own constant habit of chewing, and that the past night, that's what she'd been doing. So we're looking at this poem, and this poem is a narrative poem. And we ask, why does Fiona want revenge? And the reason she wants revenge is because she thinks somebody put gum in her hair. So we're going to look at the next poem, The Crocodile, and then we're going to figure out what this poem is also about. So this poem is a shorter poem, and it's called The Crocodile, and it's from The Hunting of the Snark and Other Poems and Verses. So this poem has 2 stanzas, and it has 8 lines. So how does the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his claws, and welcomes little fishies in with gentle smiling jaws. So this poem is about a crocodile and how he uses his charm, or maybe even his wittiness, to get little fishies to come by him so he can, I guess, eat them up. So we're going to look at the next page, and we're going to compare these two poems and the elements of each poem. We're going to use these clues up top. So the first one says, what is an example of a verse in the poem? So in the poem Revenge, which one of these is an example of a verse? And remember, we've talked about verse, and a verse is one line of the poem. So verse that we're going to use in revenge is, was a wad of gum sticky, icky, and chewy. So in the poem Revenge, if we look back, we can see that it had 7 stanzas and it has 28 lines, So that's a very long poem. And in the Crocodile, the verse we're going to put is, and pour the waters of the Nile. So that's one of the verses in the Crocodile poem, and that is actually verse number 3. So what 2 words rhyme in the poem Revenge that are from up top? So we had glue and new. And remember, if you need to pause this, if I'm going a little too fast, you can always pause it, write it down, and then continue on. And in the poem Crocodile, what were 2 words that rhymed? If you look up top, we have tail and scale. Those are 2 rhyming words. Now it says, what is one effect the poet created by using meter and rhythm? So remember, sometimes the rhythm of the poem or the meter, which is like the beat of the poem, gives you an idea of what the author's trying to tell you, or kind of have you feel about the poem itself. So we have 2 words, playfulness and cleverness. So in the poem Revenge, which was the playfulness poem and which was the more clever or cleverness poem? So Revenge was more playful, right? It was a little bit quicker. It talked about Fiona and her feelings about gum in her hair and things that she had done. And then the Crocodile talks about how he's clever and uses his charm to get the little fishies. So if we look at the bottom, it says, in Revenge, what is the feeling the poet most likely wanted readers to experience by using long verses and fast rhythm? Was it A, how upset Fiona is about finding gum in her hair? B, how tired Fiona is after waking up in the morning? C, how Fiona is about all the pranks she has played? Or D, how determined Fiona is to play even more pranks? And the answer would be A. Even from looking just at her picture, we can tell that she's angry and she's a little upset about the gum in her hair. So on the next page, 310, it says, what is the main purpose of the last stanza in the Crocodile? So the last stanza says, how cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his claws, and welcome little fishies in with gentle smiling jaws. So is it A, to show the crocodile is crafty, B, to show the crocodile eats fish, C, to show the crocodile is hungry, or D, to show the crocodile is a cheater? And the answer would be A, to show the crocodile is crafty. He uses his charm and his smile to get the little fishies. So if you look at number 4, it says this question has 2 parts. So we're going to read line 25 from the poem Revenge. But Fiona in haste to avenge her gummed head. So what does avenge mean in this line? But Fiona in haste to avenge her gummed head. Does it mean to stick something together quickly, to show who is in control, to teach an important lesson, or to punish for an earlier action? And we know she wanted to punish for an earlier action. So she thought Jack put the gum in her hair and she wanted to avenge him by using glue in his shampoo. So if you look at the part B, it says, which line from the poem Revenge provides the best clue in the meaning of the word avenge? So we've talked about context clues and the author using clues around the word to give us the meaning. So would it be A, neither parents nor doctors nor teachers could fix her? That the gum in her hair was a message to quit it? She would have to get back at that backgatter Jack, or had missed all the gum wrappers under her bed. So avenge means to punish for an earlier action. So she would have to get back at that backgetter Jack. So getting back at him to punish him because she thought he put the gum in her hair. So on the next page, on page 311, we're going to look at the short response. And we've talked about the structural elements that are in both of these poems. We've talked about verse, we've talked about stanza, we've talked about meter, rhythm, rhyme. So in these two poems, we have both poems use rhythm and rhyme to give the reader a sense of playfulness and cleverness with each character. So they're giving you the rhythm and the rhyme to kind of give you that flow of the poem. And by giving you a specific flow or even the meter, the beat of the poem, they can give you the idea of what type of poem it is or how they want you to feel about that poem. So if you need to pause this and go ahead and finish writing, you can do that. I hope you guys have a great, or I hope you had a great weekend. And hopefully I will see you Monday on our Zoom call. Okay, so bye.